Hi there! Today a short video, we will discuss the 7 main points of dry fasting. The 7 fundamental steps that help us better understand dry fasting without going into the treatment of ailments. These are the big principles. We'll go through them fast. First, I think you guessed it, autophagy. This is a key principle of cleansing and recycling. It occurs inside the cell. Autophagosomes merge with lysosomes to encapsulate waste materials. Afterward, recycling takes place at the cellular level. We include unhealthy tissues, growths, improperly folded cellular debris, and misfolded proteins, bacteria, waste, viruses, bacteria, everything cellular. Lysosomes, autophagosomes, and lysosomes fuse together. After that, we encompass everything that doesn't belong and recycle degraded elements like amino acids and lipids, which are used again to create energy or build new cell structures. So there you have it. We recycle everything that is dysfunctional and then we create new tissue. Autophagy is key in dry fasting. It controls all. In dry fasting, autophagy is highest. It's vital to know this. Juices reduce autophagy. Eating keto foods does too. You have a slight autophagy in the ketogenic diet, but it's extremely weak. If you take them in order, first juices, then fasting with water, and finally you reach maximum autophagy through dry fasting. So you have this optimal cleansing that occurs mainly during dry fasting. The duration of dry fasting is short. We won't exceed 10 days. Afterward, we might extend it to 12 days, etc. But the goal is mainly to reach around 7 days. That's when it gets quite interesting with a long dry fast. A long dry fast is about 6 to 10 days. We refer to it as long dry fasting. So these formations of autophagosomes, a double membrane that encapsulates these waste. So the physiological impact of eliminating damaged cells, cuts, inflammation, renewal of working organelles like mitochondria. This is called mitophagy. We recycle it all. For fatigue, dry fasting is best since you recycle everything. Clearly, if you suffer from chronic fatigue, rather than taking endless supplements, do a short fast of 3 days. I had a little sciatica issue, so I did 5 days of dry fasting. I assure you that even 3 days of dry fasting can reset your body somewhat. You feel right away the energy returning. Your body is cleaned. It functions much better. Preparing the ground for more complex repairs and regeneration requires reaching maximum autophagy. The second crucial principle is activating these stem cell vacuoles, which are primarily activated at the beginning of refeeding. That's why we aimed for a very clean refeeding immediately with what we call light proteins, with proteins that are extremely light in molecular weight. So we begin, I won't go into all the details, they're in the book, but we've developed a method that maximizes remineralization. We have to recreate tissues, we need to regenerate the organism, so we need to provide high-density nutritional elements. That's why we've created dietary supplements available in the book. with high nutritional density that will recharge and allow the body to complete the regeneration process. Thus, these stem cells, the stress caused by dry fasting drives the body to create these stem cells. That's why in water fasting and juices we proceed in order. RM ketogenic, for example, you get some of that, but it's significantly less than a dry fast where stem cells are at their peak. I'm not certain that an RM ketogenic creates stem cells. I haven't studied that. I'm not a specialist in RM ketogenic either. It's best to consult specialists, but I don't know about the long term. As you know, I think RM ketogenic isn't really interesting over the long term. We won't discuss it further. So we eliminate the IES cells. Of course, autophagy needs to clean up. And then we have the signaling of growth factors. This is very technical. Stem cells get signals activated through fasting, especially through the FOXO protein and fibroblast growth factors such as FGF6, which aid in their differentiation. Tissue renewal. These stem cells actively regenerate tissues, whether it's skin, bones, liver, or even muscles. Thus, we have the specific physiological factors that explain how stem cells are created by Junasec. You'll find very little of this information. This article is in the FAQ section where all my technical articles are listed. On junsec.com you will discover these details. So the Helicellus fuchs allows for reconstruction and also the growth hormone. It will normally help at the brain level. For example, it will activate what we call BDNF, so you have the capacity to rejuvenate an aging brain. Like an elderly person, you really clean it up and provide growth hormones that will help enhance their brain. It's a bit like the ginkgo biloba plant, which is the brain plant, and Junasec, made from tonic bark, will provide this nourishing effect for complete regeneration of the brain factor. Thus, the second point is stem cells. Stem cells are essential for Junasec. That's where you get the maximum benefit. The third point is detox. Non-stop detox diets, detox programs and things, that's just a fad. And Junasec provides unparalleled detox effects. You can look for all the therapies worldwide. You can't get more detoxification than being on Junasec because you create a water deficit, and then you will use your intracellular water, and then you will use the water in the tissues. And when you force this, the body reacts by enhancing detoxification even more. So it makes me chuckle when I hear people say that Junasec dehydrates you, that it's risky, etc. They don't get physiology. They claim you should drink a lot more water, more detoxifying. It's a massive error. It's actually the reverse. So the more you drink, the more you stress your kidneys, the less waste they eliminate. It's logical that you see the urine. You can see it when you're on Junasec. You have dark urine. We always check with a glass of water after 6, 7, or 8 days on Junasec. If you're on Junasec, you pee into your glass and you release a lot of waste. There are sediments. There's a lot of waste. You perform the same test on Junasec and it's zero. You have nothing. Now, there you go. It's those people who claim that detoxification is the same in Junasec and water fasting. No, detoxification is much more significant in dry fasting than in water fasting. It takes place at the cellular level, and then your elimination organs are genuinely at rest, your digestive system. It doesn't have to function in dry fasting, but in water fasting, it has to work. So I would say in terms of vital force, it demands digestive effort. even though in dry fasting you don't have. Dry fasting is total fasting. It's the most refined fasting that animals mimic. An animal lacks a juice extractor. I always say this. An injured animal lacks a juice extractor, a water fountain, or a coffee maker. It has no stove when it gets sick or injured. It simply waits for it to pass. It is in complete dry fasting. So we must understand this analogy that we should go back to these living factors, which is imitating animals. What do animals do when they are in nature? We need to return a little to imitation. Observe what animals do and rediscover behaviors of cyanogenesis, energy recovery behaviors, ancestral practices we've lost entirely due to globalization, modernization, and there you have it. There it is, the principle of accelerated cellular detoxification by this mechanism. Therefore, the toxins that are water soluble are quickly mobilized and expelled through breathing, sweat, and salts, also through the 5 elimination organs. We can add that, and there you have it. So the third point, so we have observed very advanced detoxification in dry fasting. The fourth point is specific tissue regeneration. So we have strong regeneration afterward that returns, but it's not instant. And it's crucial to understand that regeneration happens in multiple stages. If you take a pink cadaster, for example, and do 3 dry fasting cures of 10 days, that's an example I give. And then you will begin to see results. You might reverse a stage of arthritis, for example. So with just 1 cure, you will see an effect. However, it's the buildup of treatments that truly yields results. Autophagy safeguards the chondrocytes, the cells in cartilage, and lowers joint inflammation. This aids in slowing or even reversing the degeneration observed in conditions like arthritis. The deficiency of nutrients stimulates HGH, the growth hormone, which starts the formation of osteoblasts, thus stimulating regeneration. So, if you have osteoporosis, dry fasting can be quite effective for that. Osteoclasts are the cells that destroy bone, and osteoblasts are the cells that construct it. So dry fasting and osteoblasts are related. It stimulates. Then you have the elimination of aging cells and toxins, and this improves collagen and elastin production, enhancing the firmness and elasticity of the skin. Therefore, we really notice this effect after dry fasting, after a dry fasting cure, where people, as soon as they have taken in a bit of water and some food, you can instantly see the beginning of growth hormones from cells that slightly tighten the face. So today we have dry fasting is the #1 therapy. I don't understand why all the wealthy people spend thousands and thousands of francs in private clinics to get some product injected when a simple dry fast these days would have effects that are much more significant. So I wonder if an anti-aging physician will eventually establish a dry fasting clinic. I would support the idea of medical dry fasting clinics. That would be entertaining. So there you go, revealing scars and injuries. If you have a wound and you're dry fasting, it speeds up. Healing happens much faster. That's it. Afterward, the organs regenerate, with the intestines being key. The epithelia will renew. Once you begin eating again, you experience physiological rest, a non-aggression from food throughout the entire digestive tract. Then comes reconstruction. That's why this recovery is vital, to do correctly with foods that are appropriate for reintroduction. So the intestines, the kidneys, and the liver. Dry fasting promotes the regeneration of hepatocytes, and the kidneys regenerate nephrons. A study showed the benefits of dry fasting on the kidneys. So it's the complete opposite of the nonsense we sometimes hear about dry fasting damaging the kidneys. That's precisely the contrary. So point 4 is tissue regeneration. Point 5 is about reprogramming metabolism immunity, and genetics. We still have uncertainties here. We haven't explored the genetic aspect, but I think someone who is autistic could be subjected to cycles of dry fasting. There's a real opportunity here. If I were called tomorrow to do an experiment on this and follow patients, I'd be the first to sign up. There's no issue. I'm certain we could support all autistic individuals. I think we could really enhance their lives with dry fasting and careful follow-up with natural treatments and targeted efforts. We could really assist them in improving. I can't say we could fully transform them, as that would be pretentious, but in that sense, it would certainly be worthwhile to try and observe, and we could reach conclusions. But this is merely a hypothesis I hold. It's just a theory. That's it. Thus, metabolic reprogramming, you induce a state of ketosis that will restore your metabolism in motion. In terms of hormones, insulin drops, leading to reduced inflammation, immune system regeneration, and a balanced metabolic state, both immune and genetic, which I believe can be reinitialized. Dry fasting acts as a reset. I think it can also reset genetics, particularly if practiced over an extended time during a lengthy period. Point 6 is about mental disconnection. I always take this example. So after a period of mental overactivity, dry fasting will help you reconnect with your inner self. You'll experience a mental calm that sets in quite quickly. After a few days, you can't cheat anymore. You are really in touch with yourself, and then you start to feel that calm as the non-stop thoughts begin to quiet down. New ideas will come to you, but it's mainly about returning to oneself. So dry fasting is genuinely about mental effort. This practice can promote that state of presence that Eckhart Tolle explained in his research. Hence, we cut down on external stimuli. That's why it's wise to avoid excessive activities during dry fasting and instead reconnect with yourself, because those who seek out 1,000 activities during dry fasting are running away. That's why we recommend activities, but those who stay in their rooms or walk alone are also doing great. There's nothing wrong with that. So working on the mind reduces the activity of the sympathetic nervous system. This happens at the beginning. Thus, the sympathetic system is significantly sped up by the stress caused by dry fasting. And after we complete the fast and rehydrate, wow, that's complete liberation. And then poof, a calm comes over you. Those ketone bodies anesthetize you. You achieve a modified state of awareness in your body, but this is only during prolonged dry fasts. I mean, after 6 or 7 days, you begin to feel these altered states of consciousness. And then you genuinely experience this mental tranquility, this peace that comes with hormonal releases. We have GABA and serotonin, which are the hormones that are released abundantly after dry fasting. There you have it. And it promotes a meditative state. Okay, there you go, good. This relates to point 7, the awakening of consciousness and reconnecting with your limitless self, the journey of all possibilities. You connect with yourself. You have removed transgenerational memories with each dry fast. Every dry fasting cycle clears you out like an onion skin, so you lessen your fears and concerns, your anxiety significantly. The more you continue these fasts, the less you care about life and any problems that may arise. This promotes detachment. It signals a return to oneself, to a renewed awareness, because you have unearthed old memories from your subconscious filled with diverse information, and it truly permits a purging of your consciousness. You establish a connection to the soul. There's a spiritual dimension, a growth and expansion of the mind and heart, which takes place particularly in a caring group you share with. You engage in meditations, connecting deeply You free your emotions. You communicate from the heart. You have let go. We strongly suggest that individuals arrive with open hearts for these retreats we host and to release their burdens. It's a chance to experience it as a group, and the effect of being able to express something in the group is amazing. You really experience a release since people are attentive, and what you haven't been listened to your whole life, you have 20 people who are listening, and it feels really good leading to releases. It's a lovely experience. So dry fasting is not only about autophagy, it's far greater than that. It transcends all of this, and the spiritual side cannot be divorced from physiology. It's impossible. All of this is interconnected. Working on the mind to soothe thoughts is essential. Dry fasting contributes to this, you know. That's it for today. Catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.